Bad luck, Chance. So we got Catalyst. Oh crap, put it on the wrong side, because I'm pro.
Sorry, Chance. In saying that, it's going to be a good experience anyway, because Dan's great with the camera, catches most of the action. Obviously, you miss some kills here and there, because you can't catch everything, especially insta-gibs, but Dan's great on that camera.
Actually, I'm just going to leave it to you while we're getting underway. I'm just going to grab a quick drink.
No problems.
Hopefully I can get back before the real action starts.
Good. So Dan leaving me here to solo cast instead of me eating my luscious steak that I cooked about halfway through last game and I haven't been able to finish yet. Munched through a couple of veggies, but anyway, we'll get on to the blind bands, pretty standard blind bands. Apart from the silhouette, I'm actually surprised Silhouette's blind band. Again, as I explained before, it looks like Moon Queen and Draconis have been rated much higher tier bands lately, but yeah, Silhouette bands, Wild Soul, Parasite, and Keeper band. So junglers and suicides is just the general gist of the bands. And again, you know, junglers, suicides, and solos obviously are generally locked in the lock pool. So we're seeing that with Tempest, Ophelia, and Plague Rider. Glacius DS being the last locks for the Legion side, looking for those really strong supports. And Artillery, which is an interesting one, but again, it's been climbing up the competitive scene, and you're seeing it more and more. Obviously really good at clearing waves, stopping pushers, and it's a great solo hero just with that third ability, giving it range and damage. The normal bands are coming out here, and Master Arms actually banned. It's been picked up a lot again, especially by Stay Green and Complexity, but both running it completely different, mind you. A really versatile hero, can be played as a hard support or hard carry. Jeremiah is, you know, it's one of those heroes that you see in the scene a little bit, but I feel like sometimes it's banned and sometimes it's not, but when it's picked up, it definitely makes its mark.
Alright, what did I miss?
Just the bands and the locks, and I'll let you get into it so I can finish off my steak real quick. So it's all yours.
Alright, so looking at those locks, and obviously those final bands, what do we got here? We got Tempest, Ophelia, Plague Rider, Glacius, Demented Shaman, and Artillery. And looking from the bands, we got MOA, Jez, Pebs, Fade, Aluna, and Engineer. So not going to see the Engineer combo again, although we did get to see a bit of a taste of it with the Hammerstorm, of course. Shout out to Dracour, thanks buddy. Oh, and shout out to Chance Morris and Switch Trick for hitting that follow button. Thanks guys. Showing the support like that, it's good stuff. And Salada Dan, what's Salada? Is that like the biscuits?
I think he was saying see you later.
Oh, see you later, right. Yeah, cool. That's cool. So we've got Team Mooash versus Catalyst. And we'll get rid of the numbers off the top here because I'm not sure if this is a best of 3 or just a first match. Or just a single match even.
Seems like it's been a lot of single matches tonight actually. Normally we do get a lot of best of 3s, but today it feels like everyone's just in and out for a little scrim and they're done.
That's it. Or the teams are sort of rotating around a lot. Being that sort of Australian competitive scene, all the teams are a bit tight-knit. You've got sort of like 2 levels as well in the Australian scene, from what I've noticed. Obviously, you've got that sort of top tier. You'd put in, obviously, Climax and the teams that are in that HoN tour at the moment. You know, your Seraphic Nexus, Team Vias, and up there to a certain extent, you've got End of the Line and things like that. But they're more sort of in that second tier. We've got here that Catalyst and Team Mooash, who can definitely hold their own, no doubt. But I think it's going to be a lot more interesting matchup, a lot more even, seeing these 2 teams go at it, I think.
Yeah, again, like, both these teams do hold their own against these, as you said, what seems more higher tier teams in the Oz scene. So it's always good to see, you know, the variation, but seeing one of these matches where they're both a lot more evenly placed, I feel anyway, especially that they're newer and they haven't been playing together as long, so you know, they get all their stuff sorted, and they get to play a definitely more even match. So it's always a bit of fun to watch this. You got half the combo there, Dan, with Magmus.
I know.
Engine's banned.
Engine's banned, yeah. Shattered. But Magmus and a Bubbles, I mean, obviously not what you're going to see in the mid lane, but a very powerful AoE team nonetheless. And with that Soul Reaper as well, we've seen Soul Reaper used a little bit when it comes to sort of pushing, and I think in a short lane a couple of times, going that sort of more tanky route. So I'll be interested to see how Catalyst choose to play him this time. I would hope they're going to pick up an Ophelia here, and potentially a Demented Shaman. That is a bit of a push strat if they go that way, and it leaves them a little bit shorter carry, but unless they're going to go that artillery. Or run a Demented Shaman as a carry. I'm a big fan of Demented Shaman as a carry, maybe with a Souls and a Shield Breaker.
It won't surprise me to see either of these supports picked up, though. I'm guessing to run with the Magmus mid lane. Yeah, Glacius definitely, like, I wouldn't say it's stronger of both supports, but in this role it seems to fit it better. And then again, like, you have seen the power of, you know, that DS with the Ophelia ganks.
Exactly, we saw that in an earlier game. Having said that, I mean, Demented Shaman Deadwood's not too bad, and even sort of Demented Shaman Cthulhu can be very, very powerful, but I don't know, I personally value Demented Shaman above a Glacius, but Forever OJ makes a really good point. The Glacius is a hard counter to Ophelia, being able to hold those minions in place for so long, and dish out so much damage to them that they wanted to pick that up instead.
And against a Hag as well, holding that Hag in spot, stopping it blinking for, you know, a good 3 seconds is always a plus sign. Being able to give you that chance to burst down that Hag.
That's a very good point.
But we see it at Cthulhu again, which is great. I love seeing this this run, like the Cthulhu run, seeing people more willing to pick up these kinds of heroes. Deadwood again being popularized today. SG in the series played Deadwood and played it very successfully, so good to see the Deadwood appearing up in here. Other than that, like, it wouldn't surprise me to see a Suicide Tempest here. I'm not gonna lie, but looking at those items, probably not. But which means we get to see a Cthulhu lane solo, I guess.
Yeah, Cthulhu laning, I mean, it's not too bad. One of the issues is with the jungle taken here, it's going to be a bit hard for Tempest as well. I would expect that we're going to see Demented Shaman roam mid, and obviously support that Deadwood. But to be fair, I mean, Deadwood could do okay on his own. I just don't think he's going to be particularly strong against sort of a Magmus Glacius.
Maybe in trouble here. No, he's fine. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, it's okay. Could have seen a potential bloodlust, but that is the power of the Hag and the Flash of Darkness.
The Glacius
if
didn't
Glacius
go
had
for
ice
that.
imprisonment, it could have been a different story.
Yeah, like just as we were saying before, like that ice imprisonment does hold the Hag there, and it only needed that 1 more second as well. That 1 more second the ice imprisonment would have gotten, because the Soul Reaper would have got his heal off. So I do understand the Tundra Blast, but knowing that you're probably going to go up against a Suicide Hag or something of those likes, I would have preferred to see the Ice Imprisonment picked up. That's what you scrim for, so... Again, no hard feelings in this one. They are running a dual lane against the solo. Both are running dual lane against the solo rather than running a solo mid, and yeah, that's interesting.
I think it's pretty standard, obviously, the Magnus Glacius. I think the Deadwood thing's a bit weird, but I mean, Deadwood's such a heavy hitter that he shouldn't be suffering too much. I think he is going to have issues if he gets jumped, though. And, Magnus with anyone, is any other second stun, which is obviously what you usually go for in that mid lane, could get pretty deadly. But if Mono indeed just sort of plays passively, plays defensively, shouldn't have a trouble hitting level 6 pretty quickly and maybe making something happen in a side lane, or that could be the cue for Demented Charmer to come in and set something up.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see this Glacius roam a lot, just because Magnus, I wouldn't say Magnus is fine on his own mid, but he should be able to hold his own for a while, especially since he's opting for the he is opting for the Volcanic Touch route, so maybe we will see. Deadwood is getting jumped on, but I don't think he's going to die here.
Yeah, we'll eat through the trees and be okay. Demented Shaman's nearby with a heal, but not going to really need it. Forever OJ makes a good point that Legion could probably send the Deadwood solo lane and send Cthulhu DS mid. It's definitely a potential, but they are trying to turn it around on the Magnus here. They're not going to get it though. They're slow coming out from Glacius, and they're going to be okay.
I do agree with you on this one. I do feel like they're wasting the DS here, sending in mid. I think your idea of swapping the Deadwood and Cthulhu is great, but
I think a swap, I mean, a lot of teams are afraid to swap because of that wasted time in between. But the earlier you do it, obviously the earlier you can start to recover, especially with a Cthulhu who can obviously knock creeps forward, and if you knock creeps into them, you can obviously throw that Demented Shaman heal over the top, and we've seen the power of that with obviously those Ophelia minions. In the mid lane, of course, that could be extremely deadly if they catch that Glacius off guard. And yeah, all you need to do is get a couple of picks on that Glacius, who's certainly not tanky by any means, especially when it comes to armor. You look at that 1.86 armor. I believe Magnus in the past has like negative armor towards the start of the game, but I think they fixed that up. So, but even so, I mean, such low armor that Demented Shaman physical heal with a Cthulhu over the top, I think would be a bit more effective than that Deadwood.
yeah.
Deadwood would probably have a pretty okay time against the bubbles, even 3 for 3 at the moment.
Oh, for sure. In saying that, Deadwood DS is nothing to sneeze at either. That negative armor coming out from the Deadwood with his grasp, and then the DS physical, like complete physical set of spells, does do a lot of damage. So, either way it's run, it's still well run, but I feel they could have managed their heroes a bit better here.
Now, we haven't really touched on much in this top lane. We've got that Soul Reaper versus Wretched Hag, and it looks like Hag's actually been pushed back a fair bit. I haven't really seen a matchup like this before. What do you think of it?
Hag's doing a great job here, and this matchup is fairly even as well. I feel like Soul Reaper definitely has the advantage in this lane currently. But in saying that, Hag's done what he needs to do, pulled the creeps back to his tower, so he can just sit there and safely farm without worrying about the Ophelia ganks. And yeah, but Soul Reaper's got such strong auto attacks, and that heal bomb is a lot of damage with those heals that can turn around fights so easily. So definitely short lane favor to the Soul Reaper here, but well done for Hag for pulling it back.
You got to keep an eye out here. Magnus got that haste rune. If Soul Reaper, as he is doing now, sort of pushes up a little bit more, Hag could be in a little bit of trouble. He hasn't walked past any wards of sight or anything like that, so SS auto win could try and make something happen here, especially if Soul Reaper starts diving the tower, and there it goes. Will Magnus be able to reach him in time for the stun? He stuns up perfectly.
Beautiful
right
stun.
onto that Wretched Hag, and the Bloodlust kill going out. You heard the blink right at the end there, but obviously just didn't come out in time. SS auto win, hopefully being able to get back to the lane as well with another 10 seconds on that haste.
Yeah.
So not too much farm missed out on. That's going to bump his gold per minute up to 310.
Yeah, well, it's good to see the Magnus moving around. Well played there. I do feel the Hag could have blinked at any time earlier, but I think he didn't expect the mag to come and was just waiting to try and get that counter kill because of the dive from Soul Reaper instead of blinking. Something to note too, like with all this talk about how we would like to see the Cthulhu go mid, he's doing a great job bot, currently at the top GPM of the game, and definitely keeping that bubbles down.
King Cthulhu. Yeah, I haven't really seen Cthulhu played as sort of a solo short lane before, but obviously he's quite powerful, especially with that deny ability. I mean, you can treat him almost like a Plague Rider without, you know, the same sort of cooldown by any means, but he's got his life tube now, and I think it's going to be pretty much impossible for Bubbles to do anything on his own, and it probably has been for some time now.
Yeah, Cthulhu is a really tanky hero. That deny, you don't get it till level 2, but once you get level 2, it's still great, great ability to keep the lane back. Like, as you can see now, like, there's no way this Bubbles is going to be able to push this lane. Not a chance. And Cthulhu being able to tank the creeps, like, even if they're going to run back to the tower, you can just pull them out.
Ooh, so. Hag getting away on, wait for it, a bee's dick of health there. Picks up a health potion. Health potion is going to walk back into that lane and obviously keep farming.
So, again, Soul Reaper doing a great job up top as well. So, both the solo lanes are going fairly well against the Suicides. I'd say that, that the Cthulhu is definitely being much more successful, but in saying that, the mid lane is definitely winning. The Magnus has got much more farm than the Deadwood has.
I would also like to see the Demented Shaman roam, but I really can't see where he's going to go. Because even with a Wretched Hag, I mean, Wretched Hag's level 6, you know, Soul Reaper's level 7, you throw in a level 4 Demented Shaman, that's probably a kill for that Soul Reaper. And while that's happening, you're going to lose Deadwood to the Magnus Glacius combo. So, while, yeah, I would love to see Demented Shaman roam as well, I think the sort of corner they've put themselves in right now, it definitely wouldn't be the brightest move for them.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, even roaming bot, like, nothing's going to happen, but it's a Bubbles, you know, the Bubbles is just going to get out. Make sure you could burst down a bit. But we do see Deadwood putting a lot of
trouble. One more auto attack.
The cape actually just runs out too, so very unlucky there. Well played by the Hellborn side, waiting for that cape to run out before putting the last final damage on it. Because I believe that the Deadwood actually went in for that kill too, rather than the other way around, so well counter-initiated.
Cthulhu sitting on Helm of the Black Legion now, so his regen is going to be quite impressive, and working on, he's got his Chalice.
Magma's coming down for a gank, but I really don't feel like he's going to be killing a Cthulhu with a Helm of the Black Legion.
Cthulhu can pick up this, pick up the Ballista before the gank happens, maybe not, as he does get silenced. He throws out that ultimate as well, and he...
Maybe a counter kill? No, he charges through the Bubbles ulti. Which is disappointing because that Magnus would have died if he just waited for that Bubbles ulti to run out before he charged.
Bat Blast onto the Bubbles. He's going to have a Shell Surf in a second though, as well as he take cover, so it looks like he's going to be fine. Tempest is here though, and there goes the Glacial Blast, and take cover being used, and he ends up going around the corner, so that's going to be it. That Tempest... Glacial Blast just unfortunately not getting a second pick off because I think Bubbles just timed it perfectly.
Yeah, great timing by the Bubbles there on that second take cover. I think Hag should have gone for the Magnus there. Magnus on one shot, like one Bat Blast would have killed the Magnus there. But opting for the Bubbles who also got away. So, unfortunate play there, but, you know, again, the game is still very even. Still anyone's game, and there's been a lot of ganks, but not a great deal of kills so far.
Magnus jumping onto that Deadwood there. The heal's coming out already. The cape, I imagine there goes the cape. He's getting blocked greatly as well by that Magnus, and the cape does not proc, but it doesn't need it in the end. He's got a couple of bottle charges. While that happens though, Soul Reaper picking up a tower kill, level 9, and his farm's got to be pretty good now. 324 gold per minute.
Yeah.
Could be, you know, a tower going down here. Bubble's not going to be able to get close enough for a deny. So we are tower for tower, but 1-3 in favour of Catalyst at the moment.
In saying that, Tempest did pick up that PK. Really early PK. No boots though, but really early PK. I do like seeing boots on Tempest earlier because I feel that you can use that ulti just to get.
Sorry, Demented Shaman in a lot of trouble. Rotten Grasp coming out here, and Cthulhu just hitting that Magnus. Newest best thing happens with the Falcon Punch just being way too much. They definitely wanted that kill on the Magnus.
Yeah.
Now, does Cthulhu...
I don't think Cthulhu is in trouble.
Can Cthulhu still an Ophelia minion?
I'm not 100%.
I think he just stole an Ophelia minion.
It doesn't surprise me, because I know he can still Parasite minions. The only reason I said I'm not sure is because I know Alk Bones don't take them anymore. But I'm assuming Cthulhu can still steal them.
That's pretty huge if they've gone, you know... We'll let you, and obviously that's part of their late lineup, because they've gone, yeah, we're going to pick Tempest. Forcing them to take that Ophelia as sort of that other jungling option, that other huge, you know, high tier hero. King tier, god tier, whatever you call it. Actually, sorry, Magnus jumping into the middle there. Skeleton King holding Deadwood in place. Shell Surf comes out. Kelpfield going to hit two of them. Cthulhu is in a little bit of trouble there, but the Tempest ultimate, the huge elemental. Oh, and a great trample by that Cthulhu getting a hat trick. Could Deadwood pick up a quad kill here? Bad Blast just missing
everything.
He is going to take out this Glacius though.
Unfortunately.
And Deadwood, one more auto attack. He will get that Ophelia.
Good grasp.
So we're going to see a legendary quad kill.
That's I'm going to go ahead and say great play by the entire Legion team, but Tempest was a beautiful hold there. Like, really good. So again, like, that's where the early PK comes in use. Now he's got full boots as well, so that team fight proving well in the Legion's favour, obviously.
Yeah, that was a huge swing. I think we went from, was it 3-1 to 3-2 to 7-3 now. 5,600 gold lead for Moosh. And if they can maintain that momentum, I mean, they can take this game anywhere, but it is still sort of 12.5 minutes at the moment, and still a long way to go.
Yeah, again, that was a huge team fight, really well played by the Tempest. Deadwood there, like, Deadwood putting his grasp up straight on top of it. And yeah, great play by the Legion all around.
Now Tempest is going to go get boots.
He gets them boots, so, you know, can't complain about that early PK, especially if you're going to get a 4 or 5 man ulti, you know. But Cthulhu, again, notably, like, doing really well in this game.
I think if Cthulhu can pick up a Vestments and then obviously ultimately a Shaman's and onto a barrier, I think he's going to be very hard for this Hellborn team to deal with him. He just was able to stay alive and soak up so much damage, even all the AoE damage from that Hellborn team, and you know, that huge Tempest ultimate, of course, putting them all into one spot, and then he just trampled over all three of them, I believe, that were stuck in there. So.
Then straight into a Deadwood, like, again, perfect use of combos. You don't see that often. So
he is going to get jumped here by that bubbles. The Kelpfield being used, he is going to get stunned. Soul Reaper trying to do what he can, and the teleports are going to come in though, so they could be in a bit of trouble. Soul Reaper not the fastest one by any means, and he will be completely nuked down there. Bubbles going to shell surf into some trees, and I imagine teleport out. But I was going to say this leaves it open for a bit of a push, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to push a tier 2 tower just this early.
Probably not. They might go for it. I still feel they have that advantage that they can probably stretch their limits a little bit, but and it looks like they're going to do that. So
at the very least, they're going to force some teleports out from this Magnus, from this Ophelia. Ophelia doesn't have any teleports, so I think Magnus definitely going to try and come in here, but whether he teleports to that tower or you see him actually jumping that Demented Shaman a little bit and getting in a little bit of trouble himself. So
they will get this tower.
They might let this go. The teleports are coming in now, though. Deadwood in a bit of trouble. Going to get ultied. It's not going to do that much, though. Bad Blast completely melts that Magnus, and Bubbles is on the chase now. Kelpfield not up for another 20 seconds. Tempest ultimate up in 5. They could be ready to turn this around.
This may be a turnaround here.
You see actually Cthulhu on a decent amount of health here, and Tempest actually going to portal key off the side and get taken out. So
I don't know. I feel Tempest could have actually portal keyed and just altered that, but he decided to try and run away, and Bubbles picked him off. So
I think that Glacius was too far away. Glacius would have cancelled it straight away, but. So maybe deciding not to use the ultimate unless a better position turned up.
Maybe.
In the end, though, you know, we don't know.
Never know. But yeah, well played by the Hellborn there, and probably going to get a counter push on this tower with those Ophelia minions.
And Dracour, that was large. Live large and recharge, sponsored by Optus. No, I'm just kidding. But if
that was for the previous fight, the big Tempest ulti.
That was the big Tempest Ultimate, that's right, yeah. But I was just throwing out a free advertisement because it really fit. Not actually getting paid by Optus, sorry.
Wish you were, though. Wish you were.
Well, I guess, but I'm running Telstra, so I'd prefer Telstra, just quietly.
Yep.
I'd prefer some Telstra NBN, that'd be good.
Yeah, it would be good if you actually get your speeds. Yeah, again, any Telstra employees in the spectators wanna get me my speed boost? I'm actually currently running lower than fucking copper right now. Disappointed.
Wretched Hag jumping in on that Soul Reaper. Soul Reaper actually trying to turn on him to make something happen. Did not realise that Deadwood was nearby with haste, and even with the heals, he ends up getting Soul Reaper ends up getting taken out, and Hag's going to get out of there before anything else can happen. So that's the power of Seraphic. No, Seraphic. Moosh now. Seraphic Nexus was last game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and again, Moosh doing a great job getting them PKs up and just doing work with them. The game went from, what was it, a 1-3 game at 9 minutes to a 10-6 game by 16 minutes. So you can see how much more actions actually happened in this game. Deadwood actually getting jumped here, maybe dying. The Magnus ulti just proccing, but
getting rotten grass there, and it looks like Deadwood's actually going to. He still has a PK though. I think he's going to be okay, unless Glacius can get the stun off. He does get the stun off, and the rest of the team collapsing on him. Bat Blast being used by Wretched Hag to try to do what she can, but she could have gotten herself in a pretty bad position. Tempest going to walk up here and throw down that ultimate. There goes the Elemental Void, hitting 4 of them. Unfortunately, no follow-up just yet. There we go with that healing wave, and Cthulhu coming into the background there and throwing out that ultimate, the Obliterate, and it does just that. They are still trying to kill that Soul Reaper, and the heal from Demented Shaman, keeping that Tempest alive despite the Ophelia minions, and that is another huge fight, Genocide, as Glacius does come back up. So Moosh securing their lead a little bit more now, 15-8, as we hit an 18-minute, get close to that 18-minute mark.
Moosh team fights have been coming out great here. Like that one, just unfortunately there wasn't the follow-up straight after the Tempest ult, but as soon as it ended, that Cthulhu charged 2 of them, and that just dropped the entire team, split them up, and they just got picked off. So great play by Moosh there. One thing I did want to comment on is they did have the Hag surrounded by Ophelia minions. Not that I think it would have changed anything just because the Tempest ult came in so fast, but he didn't use the stuns from the Minotaurs to lock that Hag down, which might have secured them a kill just earlier.
Yeah, obviously it was a bit of a hectic fight, especially when that Elemental Void went down. Now Elemental Void grabs everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, everything. So, but Hag did manage to blink out before the minions were used. So, not sure if they would have been able to drop the Hag. I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the fight too much. But you never know. Again, it's just one of those things. But looks like they're trying to go on the Deadwood Punch coming out DD. So much damage. And there goes the Soul Reaper. They may go for a counter kill here. Bubbles all dropping.
Targeting that Deadwood. Lava Surge going to come through, and they are going to take him out here. Mooash getting credit for the kill, but
Cthulhu PKing out.
Cthulhu has a PK, and that's huge.
Yep. Again, like, this is what I was saying about Cthulhu. This is why I like that hero. It's just because it has so much, you can do whatever you want with it. Really, like, you can put a PK on it, you can build a damage, you can build a super tank, like, there's so much room for playing that hero. And again, we saw him in lane, earlier we saw him in jungle, so very versatile hero there. But Hag's going for that Hellflower, obviously. PK's still out on the same pretty much heroes. They do have 3 PKs on the Legion team, so that's something to watch out for. But 2 PKs on the Hellborn side as well, Mag having his PK and Bubbles having his. But yeah, other than that, like, most core items are out. Probably going to finish up boots on Ophelia and Glacius now, and then look for some more higher tier items.
And remember that other match we saw, Ophelia had ended up going to that Star for the Master, and I think partly because their team was quite ahead and having a really good time with that sort of Ophelia Demented Shaman combo. Do you think that's something that they should be looking forward to for this game as well, or do you think they're too far behind to
I really feel they're too far behind now. Maybe look at getting something like a Cyclone for, you know, when Deadwood jumps or Tempest jumps or even the just anyone jumping. I think Ophelia definitely needs to opt for something like that. Even a Barrier Idol would be good in this situation. So it'll be interesting to see what route they go. In saying that, like, it's really interesting that they got 2 Astrolabes on the one team. Those Astrolabes obviously not stacking, so probably a miscommunication there.
Oh well.
Happens again.
Yeah, obviously, Soul Reaper, if he wants, can, or even Ophelia could break it down and put at least half of it towards Barrier Idol and the other half towards Boots. So Ophelia might end up doing that anyway.
I don't think you can't break it down because it's got a recipe. If I'm correct.
The recipe for the Astrolabe part.
Yeah. So no breaking it down. So I think they're just going to keep those 2 Astrolabes and hope, you know, they're not in the same vicinity when they use them, because again, it gets that debuff and you can't use both of them like next to each other.
So we're in a bit of trouble, but Deadwood is actually going to get caught out here. The Ice Imprisonment happening as well. Bubbles doing a little bit of body blocking there with the Kelp Field following it up. Magmus with the Lava Surge, not needed, but definitely worth doing just to make sure.
Yep. Again, Hellborn's grabbing these picks off, doing a great job here, trying to get back into this game from those lost team fights earlier on.
Bringing up the gold per minute charts, Cthulhu still top farmer in the game at the moment, 390, really just taking off. Excuse me. Looks like Middle Tower is going to fall here to the power of Catman Champions, but Elemental Void used by that Tempest, cancelled almost straight away by Lava Surge, but it will hold the team in place for just long enough. They use that Astrolabe Bat Blast coming out and US Blessing. Cthulhu jumping in the middle there, and Eruption coming in from Magmus, trying to do what he can on that Demented Shaman. Heal is up in 2 seconds though, and with a Deadwood, I think Magmus could go down here to that Falcon Punch, and he will fall. Going up top here, Cthulhu just still auto-attacking the hell out of Bubbles, and anyone else who's dumb enough to stand close. But I don't think he's really fast enough to be able to catch up to anyone else. So it looks like they're going to back off there. Another big Tempest ultimate, a little bit earlier, but and obviously cancelled almost straight away. But yeah, as Tempest working towards that shrunken head, that's going to become a thing of the past.
Yeah, definitely. I think they only have one thing that can actually cancel Tempest ult with BKB, which would be the Soul Reaper ulti. In saying that, the Ophelia can pick up Skeleton Kings, which can also cancel it. But again, Tempest doing a good job. Like, sure, the ulti didn't last long, but it held him in place just long enough for the rest of the team to get there. Great follow-up by the Hag ulti. Cthulhu coming in, obviously, and you were watching down the bottom where the Deadwood was. I was watching up the top, and Hag actually jumped in and just secured a kill with the Cthulhu on probably like less than 50 health. So it was good to watch.
Now, Deadwood's picking up a Mighty Blade. You imagine the Shrunken Head as well on that Deadwood?
Yeah, I guess so. Again, like, as we've seen a lot of lately, like, it's been going predominantly magic damage teams. You look at this Hellborn side, you know, like, pretty much everything there runs magic damage. So it makes sense to grab that. Again, we got a Barrier Idol on the Cthulhu and a BKB coming on the Deadwood.
I just wanted to say before a shout out to Fearkite. Fearkite actually pressed the little follow button that is on the channel and subsequently became a better in bed because of it.
Yeah. Well done, Fearkite. But yeah, you will notice it next time. Trust me.
And she will notice it, or he. Like, we don't judge.
No judgments here. The Soul Reaper going out for those triple Ancients. Again, like, he's going to struggle a little bit not having the most ideal farm, but definitely capable of getting these. Getting a bit of help from Magnus, who cleans up a couple of those last hits actually. But
now, so what is Soul Reaper going for here? Is the Soul Reaper going to be the one to build this barrier item?
I'm not sure. In this team lineup, I'd assume Soul Reaper is going to go more probably like damage looking items. Though he has gone a lot of armor, so I don't know. Soul Reaper could build anything here. It wouldn't really surprise me.
Well, if and this is just me, but I would probably put the Shaman's Headdress maybe on the Soul Reaper and then the Bulwark onto the Ophelia. Of course, it could go either way, but I think they're going to need that Bulwark at some stage, just to count, not counter necessarily, but sort of mitigate some of that damage from Deadwood, Cthulhu, and obviously that Demented Shaman with his ultimate, and obviously all those heals. Bubbles actually spotting out a Tempest, Tempest jumping onto that Magmus, and Cthulhu as well. Cthulhu's actually going to pick up the Invis Rune, so denying Magmus from bottling that up. You see here, Bubbles all, and that were nearby, but the Hellflower being used onto that Bubbles, he's in a lot of trouble now. He will be able to Shell Surf, and
Cthulhu is coming
up.
up.
Cthulhu is coming up and will charge him. One more auto attack will finish him off with all the Bat Blast. And while that happened as well, Ophelia went down, and Cthulhu's stealing more of those Ophelia minions, so Ophelia's can't be happy about that.
No, definitely not. Again, this Legion side is being really mobile, using those PKs exactly how they're supposed to be using them. Had got that Hellflower using on the Bubbles and not securing, but definitely like getting Bubbles to the point where Cthulhu could just come in there and clean it up. But yeah, no, Legion's in a very, very good position right now.
We just saw Deadwood jump onto Soul Reaper, but that extra armor doing good work as he stayed alive, and he does pick up a Shaman's Headdress now. And he stayed alive, used that ultimate when it didn't do much damage, but it did keep Deadwood around long enough, and so that obviously that Glacius Magmus could rock up and obviously get that counter kill. So 21-12, it's still very much in favour of Team Moosh, but there are a couple of picks here and there coming up for Catalyst, but you know, if you look at that big picture, it is still very much going in Moosh. They're picking up 2 for each one almost at this stage.
Yeah, definitely, and I do feel that the Hag has definitely got the late game harder than the Soul Reaper does. So Hag, again, having more farm than the Soul Reaper is never a real good sign. You're going to run that Soul Reaper. Again, Soul Reaper is cleaning up these Ancients and getting as much farm as possible, and has improved a lot from where he was at the start. But yeah, the Hag is also, you know, running around getting these items, and once gets BKB is almost unstoppable by the Hellborn side.
Now, Bubbles decided to go Tablet Command as opposed to going straight for a Hellflower. What do you think of that as a pickup? Is it just because his farm is struggling at the moment?
No, it makes sense against a Tempest. It's still a great item against the Tempest, even the Graph from Deadwood. These like the Tablet can push anyone out. I do feel that Bubbles opted out just because he didn't have quite the farm, but I still see the use in the Tablet. So it wasn't a worthless pickup by any means.
Oh no, I am a big fan of the Tablet Command, and obviously you raised a good point. You can Tablet friends out of the Tempest ultimate, you can Tablet Tempest himself to stop it, at least until he gets a Shrunken Head, and it looks like Magmus is going for that Hellflower now anyway. Barrier Idol picked up on Soul Reaper, and Shrunken Head picked up on Deadwood.
Yep. Shrunken is really close on the Tempest too, just 1,100 off. Yeah, like pretty standard item pickups here. It does look like Ophelia is going to get that Soul's Bulwark, so you called it perfectly. The Barrier Idol on Soul Reaper and the Souls on Ophelia.
I think this is going to give them obviously a bit of an edge when it comes to pushing, but I'm not sure if that's what they really need right now, as the pushing is being taken care of here by Team Moosh, while Catalyst end up going for that Conga attempt. If they can get this cheeky Conga attempt, give up the tower of course, and then maybe teleport back to base, defend the racks, this could be useful, but
I think it was their best decision.
So many of the heroes don't actually have TP stones on them. I think they might end up losing a little bit too much here.
Yeah, well, they needed to kill that Congo way faster than they could. They really didn't have that ability, and like, what, Magnus doesn't have a TP on him? Oh, he just got a TP stone, so that's alright.
They're jumping on Bubbles though, and with the great trample by the Cthulhu, heals are going out though, not going to save Bubbles. Bubbles does not have enough to buy back either. Eruption going out with that Elemental Void. Soul Reaper's got the token, but he's not able to do much. He is just melting way too quickly, and I think this could potentially be GG, as the racks are getting quite low as well. Soul Reaper's still keen to try and make something happen, but there goes the melee racks, and with that, I think Moosh can back out of here and obviously take another lane without too much of a trouble. Wretched Hag getting awfully low there, but the Falcon Punch and that Rotten Grasp just taking out that Magnus. Soul Reaper's probably going to fall here as well, despite the Astrolabe. And Wretched Hag's going to pull back to base. So again, Moosh don't lose anyone from that whole exchange, and they're getting the racks. I think at this stage, Catalyst just going in one at a time is definitely not making matters any easier.
And Magnus did have to buy back there, and still didn't make anything happen. Maybe they'll make something happen here, but as of this moment, nothing has happened, and Magnus did buy back. Tempest in a little bit of trouble though, Bud PKing out perfectly, and Deadwood even gets the grasp on. Again, really well played by the Mooash boys. So, setting in their solid lead right now. Again, they got that racks, they took down that token, so didn't feel like the token was really worth it, I guess. Just to note too, Tempest has his BKB and is going for that that Resto Stone, so that'll be coming up soon.
Yeah, once that happens, if he can get that far, if the game's not over before then, it's going to be very, very difficult for Catalyst to claw their way back from this one, I think. It is still in the realm of possibility. I mean, they are only one racks down, but there are a lot of tier 2 towers they got to get through. Before they can counter, or before they can counter a separate lane even. And Magnus is a great push, you see there with that Lava Surge and that Volcanic Touch, but I think just the composition of that Legion team right now, they're just playing good HoN.
Yeah, definitely. Really strong right now with 3 BKBs sitting on the team. You know, like, again, if you run a predominantly Magic team, you really need to make some stuff happen before the team gets the opposing team gets BKBs, and the Legion's done a good job of managing to farm that up, and now they've just got that dominant lead. Haven't seen too many counter wards going up. There's a couple sitting around the map, but in general, the map has been not too counter-warded. The wards have been definitely placed up. There's still a couple sitting around the map. No eyes have been picked up either. I'd like to see an eye on the Legion team, especially with this huge lead. Like, no one's been dying for the past 10 minutes, so getting an eye here would be ideal.
Looks like they're pushing up in that bottom lane. Full team here. Demented Shaman actually standing off to the side, just in case.
Soul Reaper ports back. Ophelia's going to need to get back. Doesn't actually have a port on her at the moment, so...
Oh my god, Soul Reaper being the tankiest one, just completely melted. And that huge Tempest ultimate as well will grab Glacius and Magnus right on the edge there. And I think that's got to be GG's. GG's well played to called. And Catalyst asking for a re. And so it looks like we're going to see a game 2. Hopefully the team swapping sides, and we can get some more ScrimCast happening.
Yeah. So again, well played by Legion there. Well played by both teams, but again, Legion taking the victory and showing their dominance. The Cthulhu font, I'm telling ya. Not picked up a lot, but when it is, definitely makes those plays.